Chuck,
Yes.
ask me where wind comes from.
Oh, I know. It's my uncle, and dude thinks it's funny. He's kind of rude. Doesn't make a difference if we're at the table or not. It's terrible.
Doesn't apologize or
Doesn't
nothing.
apologize or nothing. Sometimes he's proud of it. Not cool. Man. Not cool. Not cool.
Okay, ask me about meteorological wind.
Oh, okay. Where does meteorological wind come from?
I will quote Ogden Nash.
Ogden Nash.
Yes, the playful poet. Ogden Nash. Wind is caused by trees waving their branches.
That guy was stupid. Let me tell you right now, I do not know where wind comes from. I'm going to be honest. I don't know where wind comes from. But I know this much. It don't come from trees waving. Hey, how y'all doing?
How would you know?
Because, and I'll tell you why.
This is important. This is a bit of science here.
Okay.
How do you, when it's windy out, trees are swaying.
Right.
So how would you test what the cause and effect is of that?
Because two things. One,
Wind could be caused by fast spinning anemometers. Okay, the weather vanes. It could be,
it could also be caused by a butterfly flapping its wings in Japan.
A big butterfly.
Mothra. The monster approaches Tokyo. No, the reason is because I hear the wind and then I see the tree move. So that means the wind was there.
The world ain't about what sequence you obtain data. The wind didn't hit your ear first and the tree's waiting for it to get through your head and then hit it.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes I hear the wind and then I see the tree move. I'm like, something came by me. Something came by me and moved that tree.
Those were the trees a quarter mile away.
Could be.
All right, so no, this is it's actually very simple.
Okay.
You have wind, which is a readjustment of air pressure. It's really what's going on.
Okay, so I don't see you say it like that. You say it like that just explained it to me.
Sorry, okay.
You're like,
sorry.
No, what you have is basically a readjustment of air pressure. That's all. Okay. That's what it is.
That's all it is. We're done here.
Done.
All right. No.
Thanks.
So it's the unequal heating of Earth's surface.
Oh, now that makes sense.
That's what it is. Okay?
That's cool.
And so if it's warmer in one place than another, and plus Earth is rotating, so these factors conspire so that if air ever rises, well, that wouldn't cause wind as we know it, because wind goes horizontally to the surface. But if you have rising air, because it just got heated, what has to happen next? You don't create a vacuum below. Well, you do, but then what happens?
You have falling air.
Sorry. Yes. That's very good. If air rises, you'll also have falling air.
Right.
That's true in total. But the pocket of atmosphere directly below where the air had gone up, okay, what happens there?
Oh, it has to be filled.
It's got to be filled.
So you get an updraft.
And it gets filled from the sides.
Right.
Oh! It gets filled from the sides.
Sweet.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Yes. That's how it works?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yes. Okay.
I'm telling you, Earth is tricky. Earth got some tricks.
Earth got so you have rising air. It creates a partial vacuum, which is a pressure difference, and then other air says we have to fill that gap. Let's go there, and so there it goes. Okay.
Nice.
So if you look at hurricanes, for example, very, very low pressure in the middle. You have heated, warm, moist what we call unstable air. If air is unstable, it rises. Okay? In that low pressure system, all the clouds in the neighborhood want to go there.
Sweet.
Everything wants to go to the center of a hurricane.
It's the cloud nightclub. Yo, man, you going to the eye tonight? You going to the eye? Yo, man, I heard the eye is going to be hot tonight. You know?
So all the clouds try to come in, but then Earth's rotation sort of veers them to the right. No matter which way they're trying to head into the front entrance of the eye club, they veer to the right. And so you have this circulation while the clouds are trying to get to the middle. And this gives you that
spiraling storm. That
spiral effect and everybody trying to get into the middle. And so hurricanes have famously fast winds because of this. Like hundreds of miles an hour in the fastest of them. Now, if you have air that is descending, okay? Air that descends, first it won't make a cloud, okay? So descending air is like generally clear skies. Deserts have descending air.
Oh,
okay. Now, there's certain parts of the world where the descending air is so sort of total, and is sort of gently descending, and it can go out the sides, but if the area of the descending air is large enough, then there's no sideways wind.
Wow.
These areas of Earth's surface, especially over the ocean, are called the doldrums.
That's the club that nobody wants to go to.
Sorry. You got the hurricane eye, and you got the doldrums.
Exactly. It's like, man, I couldn't get into the eye last night. Now I got to go to the doldrums.
The doldrums. So the doldrums are regions of Earth's surface where all the wind has ceased. And if you happen to be a sailing ship that wanders into the doldrums.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
That's bad stuff.
That's it. Many a ship have just given up the ghost in the doldrums because you can't move, and if they don't have oars, and there's no wind, nothing, and they eat up their food supply, they eat each other, whatever, and that's it.
Wow, it's like the great wind garbage patch of the ocean.
Like the plastic patch.
It just accumulates and goes nowhere. It's the wind version.
I thought of it that way.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's a fascinating, disturbed analogy.
It is. Oh, that's terrible, though.
Now, a couple other things. So Mars has famously large windstorms. And we call them dust storms because the wind picks up the dust, the Martian
red
surface dust. Yeah. And so you can see this. In fact, when it happens, it cloaks the Martian surface. And so our telescopes and space probes, we can't see what's at the bottom. It's basically one of these like sandstorms you've read about in the desert, but it's like a dust storm on Mars.
Or it's a very clever cloaking device that the Martians use to stop us from looking at them when they're doing stuff on the surface of Mars.
Yeah, exactly, Chuck. That's Wait, do you remember the face on Mars? Listen, do you remember the face on Mars? So it was back in the 70s. There was like the famous face on Mars. It was like some kind of a structure that had eye sockets, a nose, and a mouth, and it looked like it was huge. And we got a couple photos of it during the Viking missions, and everyone said, we got to go back. Clearly, there's life there. Okay, by the way, if there's life and that represented it, it would have to be life that had sort of a simian face. Like us. Most life on Earth doesn't have a face. So that would be weird if life on a whole other planet had a humanoid face. That would just be weird, okay? Just saying. But lobsters don't have... What, did we notice the lobster monument that was there? No, because we're only looking for stuff that looks like us. All right, so we went back, and you saw... and we had better, higher resolution, and you saw a hint of like where the eyebrows were in the mouth, but it was mostly sort of... And people said, the Martians knew we were looking at them.
Yeah, right.
They covered it up.
They covered it
with
up.
their Mars dust. Here's my point. The Martian atmosphere is 1/100th the thickness of Earth's atmosphere.
Oh, that's terrible. That's barely
It
an
is.
atmosphere.
So it's barely any atmosphere. So if you move that air 100 miles an hour, you ain't got.
It's like an infant trying to blow out a birthday candle. You know, just
It's like,
I'm giving up.
and that's why the whole scene in the movie The Martian, where they can't leave, they're trying to leave the planet
Oh, don't do
because
it.
a
Don't do
windstorm, a
Come on, don't
dust
do
storm
it.
is coming,
Come on, man, don't do it.
and the
Come on.
rocket is
Dog,
rocking.
Come on!
It's rocking back and
Don't
forth,
do
and they
it.
take off, and they gotta leave Mart Watney on the surface because they're afraid they'll topple over from the wind.
Oh man, another movie ruined. Thank you, Neil.
No.
Yeah, that can't happen then, right? That just can't even happen.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not happening.
It's
It might be
just not
dusty and you can't see.
Yeah.
but you're not blowing over any spaceships. With
So
1/100th.
it's also not gonna pick up a metal rod, and spear you with it because it's not gonna do that either.
Yeah, it's not tornado speed. Right. So the point is, Mars is also an unevenly heated planet.
Right. And that's why you get
And
that.
so, correct.
All right, wait a minute. Wait.
What?
I gotta ask you this now. All right, and this is off the explainer chart, but I gotta do it. Okay, I know that you know him. So did you ask him about that when he wrote this? Like,
Are you talking about Andy Weir?
Andy? Yeah. Did you actually ask him?
I got all up in his situation, but then what I said was, okay, Andy, so much else in that novel, later the movie, was so well calculated and thought through. I'm going to give you a hall pass on this one.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
without
he
it,
got
he's got no story.
Yeah, he had to do it. It was poetic license for a Mars hurricane so he could get to the rest of the story.
Yeah, so I gave it to him because he did the rest of his homework. See, I'm not totally evil, commentator. I will cut you some slack if you're an artist. As Mark Twain said, first get your facts straight, then distort them at your leisure.
Okay.
So that's Mark Twain's edict. So
love
I'm
it.
all in on that. By the way, Venus is very evenly heated over its surface, and we think it has hardly any winds there at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's a refreshing 900 degrees.
Well, you would vaporize, but ignoring that complication, it's
No wind needed. No wind needed. It's so even. It's so even.
it's all even.
It's not a dry heat. It's an even heat. You're good.
That's the joke I heard about hell. They say, you ask some evil person, "How's hell?" Yeah, it's hot, but it's low humidity, so we're fine.
That's funny, actually.
Chuck, we got to end it there. This is a windy. Starting off with your uncle,
Yes.
we had a windy explainer, 4-star talk. Dad, hey Chuck.
Always a pleasure.
Neil deGrasse Tyson here. Keep looking up.